He said, I took the Shahada when I was 14, I'm 16 now. He said, I didn't tell my family for some time, but when I told them, they started threatening me to the extent that even the people at school were difficult with me. He said, I was sent to a monastery because they thought that I needed checking, I needed cleaning in that sense. He said, of course, alhamdulillah, they after a time knew that he was steadfast on his deen. Up till now, he says, I'm having difficulty in my house, especially trying to hide my faith. He says, what shall I do? Shall I leave my house? Shall I leave my family alone? Because I feel my Islam is threatened by my family.
Well, as I recall, when I heard this question, and when I heard Nicholas talk to us, I was overwhelmed, frankly speaking. I sincerely felt and wished and hoped that I was in his shoes. Because to have so much power, to have so much belief, he reminded me of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when they used to endure and tolerate all what they used to get from the enemies and from their loved ones, from their very, very close families. My advice to Brother Nicholas is that he should remain as he is, strong in his faith and belief, but he should be also tolerant. He should not be violent. He should not misbehave with his parents, which are the most important people in his life. And he should seek knowledge, because the only way that he can remain a good, strong believer, a good, strong Muslim, is by acquiring knowledge of the Quran and of the Sunnah. To answer his question, should he stay or leave, he has to be his own judge. Unfortunately, in some cases, people would be very quick to say, leave them, go away. Allah Azza wa Jal will provide you. And this, in a sense, is true, but at the same time, if your faith and belief is not as strong as you may think, but you were intimidated by your parents and your loved ones, so you had to go, unfortunately, in some cases, it backfires, in the sense that the brother finds himself alone, doesn't have enough to eat, or he cannot go to school, and no one is taking him in. So, unfortunately, he rejects Islam. And then he starts to complain if his faith is not strong. And this happens a lot with poor in faith Muslims. They say, why does Allah Azza wa Jal put such calamities on me? Why not my neighbor? I pray 5 times a day, I do this, I do that. I did hijrah for Allah, and this what happens to me? So they start to question Allah's judgment, and they reject Islam without them knowing that. Therefore, Nicholas, you are the judge, the best judge of yourself. If you think that your faith is strong, and there are people who can take you in and take care of you, sincere, good Muslims, that would teach you and support you until you are on your feet, and at the same time, you find it impossible to live with your children, with your parents, then in this case, I advise you to go. But if your parents now are more tolerant than they were a month or 2 ago, and they're accepting it, and they, in a sense, they're living with it, then I advise you to stay with them, as long as you're not threatened in the sense that you're not afraid of rejecting Islam. Stay with them, give da'wah for them, try to behave as a real Muslim in showing them what Islam calls you to, and inshallah, this would all end up to the best.